are consequences if we do not install early fire detection systems that involve thermal imaging. Those consequences are an absolute nightmare for insurance companies. Loss of equipment, fire risk, safety hazards, health and safety, loss of lives. It could completely ruin a company's reputation. And that is why it is so important to have an early fire detection system, especially this FLIR A40 solution that you have here today. Do you recall several years ago we had a massive fire at one of the busiest airports?
I do, yeah.
In the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It went, the car park just went like that. Sorry. Okay. If we had an early fire detection solution installed at that car park, I think it would have been a completely different situation. We've seen how a fire could destroy so many things in its path. It destroyed thousands of cars, people were injured, the infrastructure was completely destroyed as well. They've had to, revamp the entire place.
Yeah.
And something as simple as this kit could have given a different path altogether.
Blackouts, millions lost, customers irate, reputation ruined. Consequences you can expect from inadequate early fire and fault detection systems. When it comes to detecting elevated temperatures in data centers, waste facilities, and manufacturing and utilities plants, automated thermal imaging cameras are a must. Still, to guarantee best performance, these cameras need their own protection. Insurance company Zurich has seen claims from waste facilities worth $20 million due to damage caused by battery fires. Unscheduled downtime is estimated to cost data centers $8,000 a minute, while spontaneous halts in production might lead to unwelcome expenses of up to $260,000 per hour. However, studies have also found that within manufacturing, 84% of electrical failures could be prevented using early detection methods, such as thermal imaging. Nevertheless, it's one thing to have an automated thermal camera. It's quite another to know it can withstand the rigors of industry and, therefore, deliver meaningful insights. To explain how you can protect your staff, your facility, and your bottom line by protecting your FLIR A-Series automated thermal camera is Crystal Temmerman, FLIR's Regional Sales Manager for Northern Europe and Sub-Sahara Africa. So, welcome, Crystal.
Thank you.
Today, we're talking about the FLIR A40 automated thermal camera with the IP67 housing. However, before we get onto that, please could you tell us why early fire detection is important?
So why is thermal imaging important for early fire detection? Well, early fire detection is exactly that, what's in the name. It's to try and prevent and mitigate the risk, to save lives, reduce downtime, and of course, avoid catastrophic failures.
So for years now, thermal imaging has been suggested as one of the most effective, if not the most effective, method of early fire detection. Why is that?
Thermal imaging is a technique where we're able to see heat. So it's not visible to our eye. It's in a specific spectrum, and it's a tool to help us predict and prevent with maintenance, critical asset monitoring, early fire detection, and really, one of the most important parts of this is that it's non-invasive. Yeah. So you don't have to touch. You could be at a safe distance, especially for employees in, let's say, a warehouse or looking at high voltage. You're at a safe distance and you're able to then use these tools to measure multiple points. And the benefit of this as well is that in, for example, a system like this camera over here, you'll have not just one pixel on the region of interest, you'll have thousands of pixels on that region of interest, which is a benefit to the employer and the employee that's managing the system. It's not one spot meter that's looking at one spot. So I do think that that's one of the benefits that we see with why thermal imaging is the best benefactor in the market.
So it's kind of the coverage, the safe distance, and presumably they can pick up heat earlier than like a sprinkler system can.
Correct. And these systems also integrate with a relay into a suppression system. So it works as a collaborative product. And one of the other benefits is that in like an automated system with thermal imaging, it does work 24/7.
Yeah.
So we've got a 24/7 continuous monitoring alarm event management system.
And of all of the thermal imaging cameras out there, why is the FLIR A40 automated thermal camera the perfect one for early fire detection?
I think it's an excellent entry-level package that you can introduce yourself into with any space. It's cost-effective, but it still does the job. Mm-hmm. So it's a 320 by 240 resolution camera. That means that you're going to have so many pixels on target. You've got a option in terms of the field of view. You're going to get a 29 degree, 51 degree, or 95 degree. There's also a visible camera in this beautiful camera that you see over here, over there. And one of the capabilities that this camera also does have is that it's got MSX. So you can add the visible and the thermal together to get a lot more detail. The notes on this is that the MSX is capable or available on the 29 and the 51 degree. On the 95 degree, the visible is only available up to 51 degrees.
Okay.
One of the other benefits to this camera is the ease of use and integration. So we can integrate it into SCADA systems. We have a digital output of the camera. So you could also have a relay to connect it to the suppression systems I'd mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And we have a web interface on this configuration. So we see this or consider this to be our entry-level, cost-effective package in smart monitoring and safety solutions, focusing on condition monitoring and critical asset monitoring and early fire detection. So having the web browser is one value that you have from this. So everything's on board, a plug-and-play solution. We also have the ability to integrate this camera into a United Video Management System. We call that UVMS Latitude within Teledyne FLIR. And that's an excellent tool for storage and recall. So you either have the option to use the web interface where you are creating 10 regions of interest and creating an alarm event that gets sent back to the user either by an email or by text. Yeah. Or you have that being sent to a control room where you have somebody looking at this, and then you're able to store, recall, and understand what you need to do with that data. Another advantage that we have for the FLIR A40 is that we could use RTSP Stream. So the likes of our software platform, which is FLIR Research Studio, you could also connect the smart config camera to FLIR Research Studio. The image might be slightly grainy because you're doing a stream, but you could still also use it as another value tool for research. So you could use this camera in an outdoor setting to potentially look, let's say, at a utility plant, and then you could be using it to detect any anomalies with temperature on, let's say, a capacitor. But you could also use the camera for research in the beginning to understand where the thresholds of trending is going to take place. So that's why it's a value-added product that we have in the markets.
So would you say that the key points that it offers are sort of precision, adaptability, and ease of use?
Absolutely. I mentioned UVMS, and I mentioned that we have a condition monitoring plugin that allows for this camera to integrate into our security backend. So it's a video management system for storage and recall. One of the key qualities of this now is that Teledyne FLIR offers an end-to-end solution. So we could have a security system looking at the perimeter, as well as integrating the automation camera, which is for critical temperature radiometry, and getting that really quick response time to avoid and prevent any fire or any sort of critical damage. It could all link into one, which is really ease of use for the customer moving forward.
For more information about the FLIR A40, click the box above to watch our video on how it can help industrial facilities spot hidden problems. So today we're not just talking about the FLIR A40, we're talking about the FLIR A40 Early Fire Detection Kit.
Yes.
So please could you tell us what's included in that kit?
So we have the FLIR A40 camera, we have an IP67 housing, and we do have different options, but for this kit today, we have an option that allows for both the thermal and the visible feed. And that I see as a standout in the market today. Normally, or typically, when we have an IP67 housing, it's typically only for a thermal feed. So this allows the user to get both that visual and that thermal. And if they require MSX for more detail, because of distance dependent, I see this as a good quality. We have a sun shield that also helps in certain aspects. If you're in outdoor applications, waste facilities, for example, having that sun shield just gives an extra layer.
Yes.
We've got a RJ45 to M12 adapter. We have that in the smaller form as well. We have our connectors, our cables. This is a 10-meter option that comes with the kits.
Yeah.
And then we also have a mounting bracket. This is a U-shaped mounting bracket. There are various mounting brackets available as well, which could be available to pass to for their customer base. But in this kit itself, it's the U-shaped bracket. So if we connect it all together, you could have it mounted in various ways. Could be this way.
Also versatility.
It's versatile. So that really is, for me, an end-to-end solution right here. You've got the configuration, which is an advanced smart configuration. You have an option of it's a fixed focus, but in this case, you could choose between the 29 degree, the 51, or the 95 degree. You have an IP67 housing. The operational temperature for this right now goes up to 50 degrees. So it's negative 20 to 50 degrees. And there's still additional accessories that you could add onto the kit, which could allow you with cooling jackets to go up to 90 degrees with operational temperatures.
Adaptable as well. Just going back, could you explain a little bit about what advanced smart sensor means?
Sure. So in our world and what we offer, we have two types of configurations. We have a smart configuration and we have an image streaming configuration. We'll focus just on the advanced smart configuration today, because that is what this early fire detection kit's all about. The advanced smart allows everything to be on board. Think of it as its own computer. So it's not streaming to pull to a different PLC system. Everything's being done transferred to a web interface, and you're able to then create 10 regions of interest, 10 spots, and get the alarm sent out to the customer.
So who or what kinds of facilities would benefit from one of these kits?
Waste facilities, warehouses, data centers, utilities, power generation. Those would be your main areas if we're starting to talk about early fire detection that would truly benefit. And then also in terms of areas that may need housing, where it could be a very dusty environment, a dirty environment, an area that may have high temperatures. That could be anything in manufacturing with higher temperature requirements where an IP67 rated housing is needed.
If you want to read more about the FLIR A40 Early Fire Detection Kit, click the box above or click the link in the description, where you'll also find an option to purchase. But don't venture too far, because we're going to interrogate whether this kit actually solves any problems or just makes them all worse. Precision is essential when it comes to early fire detection, and many industrial facilities, they struggle with the accuracy of their thermal imaging cameras because machine vibrations, dust, dirt, temperature can all affect the precision of thermal imaging. So how does the IP67 housing protect the FLIR A40's accuracy?
The housing is rated at IP67 to support the protection against dust and submersion of water up to 30 minutes. And I think the depth is 1 meter. There are additional accessories to also further improve or enhance whatever that looks like if there's too much dust build up with an air purge or even an air knife, which are additional accessories that we do have in the portfolio. The housing, in terms of it's like mounting would stop vibration, and you have that flexibility to put it into different areas in order to mitigate that risk in terms of vibration. And the sun shield itself is, if you are in an outdoor area that may have a lot of reflection, it just protects the camera inside with the housing as well. The camera inside with the the lens, it is environmentally tested.
Yeah.
I can't really go into too much depth with regards to that, but we do have our cameras tested in an environmental chamber for 72 hours. And that is to ensure that there is that critical accuracy and that we align to the specifications that we put out there into the world, ensuring that we have the most accurate camera in the market.
So you can trust the A40 with the housing to deliver what it says it's going to deliver.
Correct. We've done extensive testing.
So the housing, it changes the form factor of the FLIR A40, and industrial facilities, particularly data centers, they're already short on space. So trying to mount a thermal camera in a convenient, unobstructed area is already tricky. So won't this just make it worse?
No, I think it will enhance the protection and the safety of, let's say, a data center. And let's use that as an example. I mean, you are 100% correct in saying that space is always going to be a challenge in a data center. But how do we look at finding the application within the data center where this will be a benefit? Let's look at hot and cold aisles in a data center. We would mount this in a place that is not obscured and is not going to cause any sort of issue, and be able to monitor maybe the heat flow distribution in the data center. We won't necessarily be able to mount this into the cabinet itself. It's too big as a form factor. But we could find other areas of benefits to ensure that we could mitigate that failure and prevent it from happening, and also prevent fire.
And I suppose the bracket helps in that it offers multiple ways to mount it, so you can get the right angle.
Yes, I mean, like I mentioned, we have this particular bracket for this kit, which is very versatile, but there are smaller brackets as well, hinge mounts, etc., to make whatever the scene is desirable for the customer.
Okay, but the IP67 housing, it's a significant cost on top of the camera, which itself isn't inexpensive. So how do you justify that? Why would you buy the housing or the kit when you could just buy maybe a different thermal camera with a more resilient housing?
Well, let's look at a return of investment to a customer. Let's look at thermal accuracy. And let's look at the end-to-end solution that we discussed earlier. Mm-hmm. There are so many elements to this package that give you that return of investment. I mean, in outdoor applications or areas where it is extremely dirty, or there is a sense of need for higher temperature operations, this is a durable value for money kit. Mm-hmm. And without the housing, the operational temperature of the camera might not fit for the application or the needs of the customer. So putting it together as a solution will always have a return of investment that outweighs the initial cost that your customer would need to outlay. But if there is a fire, I mean, what would that cost be? So if you don't have this solution protecting, mm-hmm. and there's an element of safety there, if it's not protecting your plants or your machinery, and there is a fire that takes place, what will that cost be?
Well, it could be quite significant if people get caught up in it.
Exactly. And this is why we have this low cost value product. I mean, sometimes we look at that figure and we go, oh, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. But in the greater scheme of things, if we take the collective, like I mentioned, thermal accuracy, end-to-end solution, smart monitoring config, plug and play, web browser, and ease of integration into SCADA systems, I think that would definitely justify this pricing.
Great. I was just wondering, though, how does it compare to, because FLIR offers other thermal cameras that are also suitable for automated monitoring. But they have their own built-in housing, but they are a bit more expensive. So I suppose this kit is a good entry into that, isn't it?
Well, with the FLIR A40, this is our baby in our FLIR AXX series. So we have the A40, the A50, and the A70. The specification of the FLIR A40, it's a 320 by 240 resolution camera, and its temperature calibration is up to 650 degrees. Now, for early fire detection, that is perfect. Yeah. But if there is distance involved, you might need more pixels on targets. And that means that you might need to go to the FLIR A50 or the FLIR A70. The FLIR A70 is going to give you a 640 by 480 resolution. So there are options in this area. another series that we do have is the FLIR A40 series, and that is a little bit more advanced. We have interchangeable optics, and you're going to definitely get a lot more calibration option, which goes up to 2000 degrees on the A700. So it really depends on the customer's application. It depends on their need for thermal accuracy, or whether they are looking rather to just detect some sort of anomaly that's trending and changing until it gets to a point where they need to shut down machinery, equipment, or a plant. So we do have other options if you need to upsell.
Yeah, so FLIR has a thermal solution for you, doesn't it? It's just that this is the first one. This is the entry one.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we've had something called the FLIR AX8, which is a really small product. It's still available in the market, but it is an 80 by 60 resolution camera with one field of view. This gives you a little bit more versatility in terms of your field of view options and also your mounting options, allowing it to integrate into a housing that is going to further explore operational temperature and give you that flexibility in spaces that necessarily a standard automation camera without a housing cannot perform very well. And it also gives you the configuration options so that the customer is still at the end of the day making that decision that's best for them and for their need in early fire detection.
Great. And is there anything else you think we should know about the FLIR A40 Early Fire Detection Kit?
Yes. So in this kit, this is your package that you're getting right now. You can also add on additional accessories. So some customers, like I'd mentioned, may need to have an operational temperature that's higher than up to 50 degrees. And this is right now is giving you 50 degrees. So negative 20 to 50 degrees. We have cooling jackets and cooling blocks. And with each type of different setting that you add an additional block or a jacket, you add some air into this mixture, you could go up to temperatures of up to 90 degrees. So it's versatile. This is entry level. It's perfect for most applications, but it's also flexible enough to be able to add on and create the perfect solution for your customer.
And if you were to sum up the FLIR A40 Early Fire Detection Kit in 3 words, what would they be? Safety, durability, and efficiency. Great. Thank you. Hopefully we've made it clear why protecting your FLIR A40 thermal camera is critical to protecting your staff, facility and profits. To read more about the FLIR A40 Early Fire Detection Kit or to make a purchase, please click the link in the description. Remember, you can check out all our past FLIR videos, including episodes about the FLIR A40 on our channel. And make sure you subscribe, as that way all future FLIR videos will come straight to you, so you'll never miss an important development. Okay, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.